I have the pleasure to be here right near Denver with Ken Carnes, who is founder of Residential Systems. And we're in your showroom here. In the offices are about, for our European readers, about 800 square meters. And Ken, you're going to give us a quick demonstration of this room and give us an explanation of what's in here.
Very well. This is our demonstration home theater. It's in English terms, it's about 18 feet wide, 24 feet long. We have a 12-foot wide Stewart perforated screen, top and bottom masking. Our primary video source is Kaleidoscape, a media server.
Okay.
One of the interesting attributes of Kaleidoscape is it actually allows us to control masking automatically. So in the theaters we do that are Kaleidoscape based, all the homeowner has to do is literally push a button saying I want to watch a movie, and everything is taken care of. The aspect ratio for the projection screen is taken care of. The digital sound processor settings are taken care of. And of course, we're normally in an AMX control environment. So when you push that DVD button, we're also lowering the lights, we're controlling the temperature. We're really controlling the entire environment. Would you like me to continue with the rest of the theater?
Yeah, okay, let's take a look. These speakers are gorgeous. Okay, these are CAT speakers.
Right, these are top of the line CAT MBX speakers. They're about $160,000 a pair, weigh about 800 pounds. And one of the reasons they're so heavy is you want all the sound to come from the drivers. You don't want to come from the cabinet. So these cabinets are very rigid. For an audiophile, you'll look at the fact that we've put these speakers inside of an enclosure and they go, oh my God, this can't possibly work. Because with most speakers, you're getting sound emanating from the actual cabinet. With these speakers, you get no sound emanating from the cabinet at all, so we're not muddying the image by putting these speakers inside an enclosure like we have or a niche like we have. So anyway, we have CAT left and right speakers. We have the acoustic equivalent of this CAT sitting behind the screen.
Okay.
And then we have an array of subwoofers. We have two side surrounds on each side. We have two rear surrounds in the back, and then we have an array of, I think it's about 18 subwoofers sitting around the room.
Everything's so hidden away. I mean, that's your know-how of residential
Yeah,
system.
most of our clients do not want to see their music; they want to listen to it. So in most installations, we don't express the speakers. It's actually rare for us to do what we did here, but we also wanted to make this a two-channel room. So you can sit and listen to just stereo music in here and have a wonderful, wonderful presentation. And in that case, we wanted to show the speakers. But in the typical theater, we actually wouldn't show those speakers. In virtually every theater we do, everything's hidden behind acoustic treatment, acoustically transparent treatment, actually. So anyway, we have a boatload of subwoofers, 18 or so subwoofers. The reason for that is bass management. Everyone will put subwoofers to provide that primary subwoofer sound. We put subwoofers all over the room with some pretty sophisticated electronics to do bass management, so that that low-end sound is very precise and controlled and impactful, but you don't have this residual. So many theaters you go in, you'll hear this rumbling sound. You won't hear that in a CAT MBX theater with bass management. So that's what we have for a speaker array. We have a Runco triple chip DLP projector. It's a high def 1080p projector sitting behind port glass, so we can isolate it that way for both sound and keeping it cool. In the audience right-hand cabinet, we have all of our source equipment. We have our digital signal processors, things like that. Also power conditioning equipment. Theater is the most demanding thing we do. We not only have to worry about the acoustics and the electronics, but we have to worry about the power for those. So we have what's called an isolated ground system here. It's a very, very low impedance ground, recording studio quality ground. We have a separate power system for all of our amplification. All of our amplifiers are sitting in the audience left rack at the rear of the room. Most of those are 240 volt, which in the U.S. is an uncommon voltage. Most things in the U.S. are controlled 120 volts, but all of our amplifiers are 240 volts here, whereas our source and distribution equipment is 120. Our projector is 240 volts.
And you're also using CAT amplifiers in the.
We are, as I said, we have a Stewart screen. We have CAT. Speakers in general, we have some CAD amplification. We have a significant amount of ADA amplification.
Okay.
On the ADA amplification and processing, as well as AMX control. We have Kaleidoscape and audio request for sources, as well as some high-definition digital satellite. And of course, everybody has to have a video game, so we have Xbox kind of applications in here as well. Behind, as I say, it's not just electronics and the aesthetic things you see, but behind these walls, each of these walls is about 12 inches thick. And behind this facade, you have different acoustic treatments so that the room sounds the way it ought to sound. When you walked in this room, you don't feel like you've got a cold. It's not a real dead room.
No, it's not a dead room at all.
There's a fair amount of life to it, which we like in our theaters. We don't like them to be dead like a recording studio. And we control that by the acoustic treatments that are behind all of these panels and in the ceiling.
Maybe you can give us a little detail of what's behind one of these panels? Slightly, without giving away your know-how?
Well, no, it's not that it's proprietary, but depending on where you are in the room, you need things that are either absorptive, reflective, or diffusive. So in the doors that are hiding those equipment racks that you'll see, we have diffusive material. So that when the sound hits those, it literally diffuses, and it's not bouncing all over the room. At various points in the sidewalls, you have reflective material to enhance the surround, and you have absorptive material to get rid of the first-order reflections.
Okay.
So depending on which of these panels you pull off, you're going to see things like that. They're doing either diffusion, reflection, or absorption, depending on where they physically are in the room. And that is the scientific part of this. That is acoustical engineering is a science. These are located at very specific points and have very specific acoustic attributes, depending on the characteristics of this room. So this is very, very custom room in that regard.
Well, you have a whole team here, in fact, of engineers and specialists that work with you.
We are an engineering-oriented firm. We're a CAD shop, and we have engineers, and we spend a lot of time engineering our jobs.
And can you give our readers and viewers just a quick idea how much something like this would cost?
Well, yeah, theaters are like buying sports cars. There's really no limit to what you can spend. This room, as it sits with electronics, is about $600,000. Add about another $100,000 for the acoustic treatment and the aesthetic
finishing
that you see. You add another about $5,000 a seat for
the chairs.
So as you're sitting here, it's about $750,000 for everything.
Okay. Ken, this has been a real pleasure. I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. Maybe we can just sit down and watch a film together after this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.